and thank you for tuning in to a special mini edition of the All Well Show with your host, Nick Ballinger, live from Copenhagen, Denmark. Enjoy the show.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Nick Bellinger with the All Well Show, today live from Copenhagen. I've always wondered about taking the show on the road, but I've always stuck to the format. But hopefully you don't mind. I thought I'd bring you with me to a little trip to talk about well-being in Copenhagen. The first thing I want to talk to you about is travelling, right? Because well-being on travel is really, really difficult. And I'm not going to kind of be really basic and talk to you about drinking lots of water and making sure you get lots of sleep. I know you know all that sort of stuff. But the reason I thought it would be nice to talk about it is because I find it really difficult still. I say still because those of you that know me know that the reason the show started is because back in my 20s I used to have quite a lot of trouble with anxiety and stuff. But now I'm old, that's not so much of a problem. You know, still have some bumps in the road like everyone does. But, you know, it's getting a little bit easier. And I think that's just because you just have to kind of feel the discomfort and realise that that's just your natural survival senses kicking in, trying to tell you to go back home to your safe sofa or bed. But you can just kind of thank those voices and crack on. And I'm trying to do that on this trip. I'm not here very long at all because I must admit, when I travel, I feel really bad for my family and my wife, who kind of has to hold the fort while I'm away. So I try to make my trips as tight as possible. And so I'm only here for about 24 hours, 25 roughly. But I'm trying to take as many moments as I can to make the most of the trip. Outside of the work that I'm doing with the wonderful people here in Sanofi, Denmark. It's just little things, like for example, you could just come out of the airport, jump in a cab and go to your hotel. But I tried to do something a little bit different by taking public transport, which sounds really basic, but if you're an anxious traveller, that's the last thing you want to do. So I did that, and then I was rewarded with a lovely walk from the metro stop to where I'm staying, and I saw things I wouldn't have seen. So I just encourage you, if you're a nervous traveller, just to maybe try and do just little things slightly differently. And I'll be doing the same when I go to the office this morning as well, just to try to make sure that I take every chance I can to get some air and to see the place where I am for a change, rather than just kind of taking the kind of safe, less scary way. The final part of today's show is about this, which I think you say Hygge, something like that. I've always thought it was Hygge, because I'm a basic Englishman. But I'm going to read from this book because it's a book that was out for me in my hotel room, but it was also a book that I was lent once by a friend back home, and I thought it was a lovely bit of serendipity. And I'm just going to read to you just one little page from this. I hope you don't mind, but I think it works really well with this little mini travel all well show. It's called The Sixth Sense of Hygge. Hygge is about feeling safe. Hence, Hygge is an indicator that you trust the ones you are with and where you are. And the feeling of Hygge is an indicator of your feeling of pleasure when someone tells you to go with your gut feeling, that you have expanded your comfort zone to include other people and feel you can be completely yourself around people. So Hygge can be tasted, heard, smelled, touched and seen, but most importantly, Hygge is felt. In the beginning of this book, I mentioned Winnie the Pooh, or the author did, and I think his wisdom still holds true. You don't spell love, you feel it. This brings us to the final theme of the book, happiness. And I love the idea that people here take happiness really, really seriously. I believe they have an institute of happiness here, and this country is voted as one of the happiest countries in the world repeatedly. And I kind of feel like, having read that book before and everything I've seen, only having been here a few hours, is that they do take kind of life seriously, but not work life seriously. I think the rest of the world seems to put work first, but here it feels like they're thinking more about the environment and their own environment and working hard, but then making sure that you have stuff around the edges like cake to balance out the difficult times. So let's be a bit more Danish, shall we, this week? I hope you enjoy this little mini pod. We'll be back to normal all world shows very, very soon, but just wanted to try something a little bit different, because after all, if you just keep doing the same thing, you never get any more comfortable. All right, thank you so much, and it's bye from me.